Good afternoon, people. This is Retro. Today we're going to talk about BethIni and Bethini Pie. And maybe a little bit confusing if you're just getting started, but I can clarify which games it works with and what it does. Right here is the BethIni. This is for Bethesda games. And there's two of them. There's BethIni, which is the standalone, they call it. And you would go to Nexus Mods, find BethIni, go to Files. And the main file is right up here, BethIni standalone version. The one that came out April 22, version 361. Manual download. Get that. Download it to whatever folder you want. And that's going to end up in whatever folder you want it in. I keep mine here. You're also going to want to get the BethIni Pie. They call it a newer version. I don't know if it's loading. Just accept it. This is Tor browser, so it's probably not making a great connection. I don't know. Okay, we're back on the page. Okay, so once you get BethIni standalone, which is this, scroll down, you'll see BethIni is now Bethini Pie. It is, but it isn't. BethIni supports different games than Bethini Pie. Bethini Pie is newer. And then one game, like Fallout 4 appears in the BethIni standalone, but you can't use it. It won't allow you to access permission to the files. You have to use BethIni Pie for Fallout 4 and I think it's Skyrim. So you want to get BethIni Pie. And again, go to Files. And the one on top, again, BethIni Pie, version 410, manual download. And then put that wherever you want. I put it right here in the same folder. So I have BethIni Standalone, which is the older one, and BethIni Pie, which is the newer one. Now let me expand these. And if you look in the Standalone, you'll see there's presets. These are the games that BethIni Standalone support. But Fallout 4 is not going to work. It's going to tell you you don't have permission to alter the configuration file. So you're not going to use this for Fallout 4. And you're not going to use it for Skyrim either. BethIni Pie takes care of Fallout 4, Skyrim, and Starfield. I haven't done Starfield. I've only done Fallout 4 and Skyrim. So that's what BethIni Pie is going to take care of. BethIni Standalone, which is the older one, I'm going to use for Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Oblivion. And believe it or not, I can't remember which one, but one of them takes care of Enderal. You'll see that when I load it up. And Enderal is like a mod hack standalone game for Skyrim Special Edition. You can alter the configuration files for Skyrim or the Special Edition. So, wherever you have these games, let's go with the standalone first. You run the software. So here's BethINI Standalone, and you run it. And it's going to open a window like this. For all the games that you modify, these windows are going to look pretty much the same. And the first thing you want to do is go to Setup to make sure which game you're modifying. So I'm not going to do all the games. I'm just going to do, like, let's do Fallout 3. And you'll want to, when you first open it, it may or may not know where your game is located. So if it doesn't, go ahead and point to the directory where it is. This is where mine is. And leave the any path alone. That's a preset. It knows right where it's supposed to be. And you see where it says automatically check for updates? Turn that off, because if you don't, it's going to keep telling you to download Bethini Pi. But you already have Bethini Pi downloaded. And then over here, this is just a refresh. You can actually close this window and then go back to basic. You're going to set your resolution, your anti-aliasing here, your anisotropic filtering here. Whether you want windowed mode, I leave these off. VSync and transparency, I use those. And then right here is the FPS. On all my games, I leave FPS at 60. Because when you're modding games, sometimes when you increase FPS, it breaks certain things. Or you might get like ragdoll physics issues. This FPS might be different when you first open a certain game on BethINI. Make that 60. If you're in the US. I don't know if you're in the UK. That might be different. But you want to leave BethINI presets checked. And you want to click recommended tweaks. When you click recommended tweaks, you'll see this refresh. Sometimes you'll have to redo your settings after you recommended tweaks. But once you recommended tweaks, BethINI presets recommended tweaks, you choose whatever you want. I chose high because I have a 360 Ti. When you press high, it'll make everything in here high. If you want, you can click the recommended tweaks again to make sure that you're getting the tweaks. Either way you do it. So basically you're hitting whatever preset you want, and then you're making sure the presets are checked, and then you're making sure the recommended tweaks are checked. And once that's done, you can change these values and change these values, and then you go to General. Down here it says Save and Exit. Don't do that. Go to General. This is intro music and stuff like that. I left this alone. Gameplay, remove borders, blah, blah. I left these all unchecked. In the interface, you're going to see subtitles, use joystick. If you want to use your joystick, make sure it's checked. I think every game has that option. And this is if you want to enable the in-game console. Your detail. Again, this stuff is, I usually leave this alone because this is the preset from the recommended tweaks. And then you have your view distance. Again, here I left this all alone because this was from the tweaks. Then you have your visuals, and then you have custom. If you want to change any of that, go ahead. I didn't. That's when you come here and hit save and exit. Do you want to keep the changes you made? No, we'll revert your innies back to the way they were. No. I don't know. It says they were reverted, whatever. Again, just to make sure, because I'm in this game, I can show you, what am I, 4.8 and VSync. So you would go high, and then you would go recommended tweaks. You'll see where it goes done. GUI was modified. Make sure, see now these all stayed the way I had them, even though I'm doing it. And then here's your general, your gameplay. Same thing with use joystick. Usually it leaves the settings that you had alone as long as you It creates a backup file, which I'll show you. Okay, and then this time I'll go save and exit, and it exits. Now what this does is it literally rewrites. You'll see the Bethini cache and the saves. it rewrites the configuration file for each game that you do. It rewrites the configuration file with all those settings that you chose, so you don't have to go into the configuration file and modify it yourself. Any of you who have watched my videos see that I always go into configuration files and change them myself. You can still do that, but what Bethini it does for these particular Bethesda games is it allows you to change it, you know, from the program, and then rewrites the configuration file. Now, once you do that, if you want, you can go back in manually. Like if I wanted, like for Fallout 4, for instance, I can come back in here and change stuff, even though I ran this through Bethini first. And you would do that with each game. So you would run the standalone, and what I just showed you, you would do that for Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Oblivion, and yeah, do that for Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Oblivion. And then the next one is Bethini Pi. And Bethini Pi, when you run it, it's got a little bit of a different GUI. And that's here. And you'll see it's Fallout, Skyrim. Fallout 4 I already ran, and then like here, I'll show you Skyrim. When you open a game, this menu, it's similar, but it looks a little different. Fallout 4 and Skyrim require you to use Bethini Pi. If you try to use Bethini Standalone to do Skyrim and Fallout 4, it's going to say you don't have permission to write to the C drive and la. But if you use Bethini Pi for some reason, there's no issue. Again, it automatically should find your game, the path to your game. I think it knows how to do that. And you can choose your game from here, the file menu. Right now we're in Skyrim Special Edition. Here's where I change my resolution, my anti-aliasing, my display mode. Here's where you can change your FOV. You can do this for Fallout 4 as well. VSync, here's your Havoc physics. Again, 60 frames. I always have 60. I mean, if you want to play around with your frames, you can do it manually from the configuration file later. Again, Bethini presets and recommended tweaks. Leave Bethini presets, apply recommended tweaks, and what you choose here. Like I choose high. Again, come here. This is your intro music. It's pretty much the same thing. Here's your autosave, save on travel, save on wait. It's Fallout 4 is very similar. You can change these things if you want. And just look through each one very slowly. Take your time. If you're not sure what something is, don't change it. Visuals, whatever it is, view distance, whatever it is. Once you change all of this for each game, for Fallout 4 and for Skyrim, come up here to File and Save. That's all you got to do. Click Save, and it will automatically save the configuration file in the proper location where it is. And that's pretty much it. Again, you'll see that here's the Pi backups. It creates back. Every time you go into Bethini or Bethini Pi and make like a different change or however many times you use it, it creates a backup. So it knows every time you open it like what you chose, so you don't have to keep doing it over and over again, even if you want to keep going in and making different changes. They're pretty sweet programs, actually. And also it like keeps your log in the actual Bethini Pi folder and in the Bethini Standalone. So again, real quick before I start getting into the actual game or games, Bethini Pi, Fallout 4, Skyrim, Starfield, Bethini Standalone, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Oblivion. And that's it. Here, you can kill this, and you can kill this. You can always go to PC Gaming Wiki, which I love, and it'll tell you like where your configuration files are, and for some reason I'm not. Yeah, here we go. Continue to download. Okay, so I don't have my ad blocker on the Tor browser, so it's a pain in the butt. Like, but you can it's going to give a bunch of click this and click that, and but PC Wiki, if you got some ad blockers and stuff, it's much better. But this tells you how to manually do stuff widescreen, and if you have issues with the game. The reason I waited to make this video was Fallout 4 just had like a huge update, something to do with the TV show, and people are playing the games more, and like sales of the games have increased, and so I wanted to wait for the update, which was, I can't remember how many gigabytes it was. I want to say it was 36 gigabytes. I mean, I can double check that because I took a screenshot. Where is it? Let me look. Screenshot. Okay, no. Yeah, it was a 36 gigabyte update for PC. I don't know what the size of the update was for Xbox or whatever else you're playing it on. I don't know. This is all Windows 11 Pro. Forgot to mention. But then there were a few things. After you use your BethIni and your Bethini Pie, there are a few things you have to do to certain games. And yes, you can run the games right from their loaders. So from Steam, and let's go through the list. Let me go back to. So let's go to, where is it? Let's go to the standalone first. So Fallout 3, that's the one we did. I can't remember if that's on Steam. I might have it on Epic. No, it's here. Fallout 3. Fallout 3, I think straight up, you're good. You don't have to run the configuration file first. If you want, forgot to have my volume up. If you want, you can come into options from here, and you can change this. But you'll see the changes that I made in the BethIni standalone is exactly what it says here, and all the settings are high. And you'll see where it says mode windowed vertical sync. I can go ahead and click that just to make sure. And then there's an advanced. And over here, you pretty much leave it where it is. I didn't really play with this, and then close that. And I just make sure, because vertical sync I had checked in the BethIni. And then that's a hit OK, and then play. And I don't know why I don't have a controller connected, but I should. So let me do that now. Xbox One controller. Can I skip this? Okay, just last save game. I don't know. I also mentioned, I forgot to mention that when you use BethIni Standalone and when you use Bethini Pie, you have to start a new game, or else the changes. If you load a save game like me, I've already made the changes, so I just continued where I left off. But if you've already been playing any game that you change, any game you change with Bethany Standalone or Bethini Pie, if you currently have been playing that game, you do have to start a new game. It's unfortunate, and it comes with the territory, but it's worth it if you want to get into playing the games. And this is not inverted. And vibration off. There we go. And you'll see the I have the what do you call it? The field of view. Some people say field of vision, but you'll see I have it and you can change that. You can go in manually, or you can just go into Bethini Pie and change that. Okay, there's your sprint is on your left stick. Yeah, and you can change the FOV for your zoom. But you can see, like, you can change. I think the recommended tweaks fixes a lot of the crash issues in the game. That's why I was here in Megaton or Megatown or whatever it's called, because I was getting, I don't know, it was like last year I was playing the game and I was getting crashes, and I modded some files when I was going in and out of certain shops in Megaton. But so far, like, I've been playing around with the Bethany and going in and out of places, and I haven't crashed yet. So I think as long as you have the recommended tweaks, it won't crash. So yeah, so play with your settings, play with your FOV. If that's too much for you, bring the FOV. I have mine at 100. You can put it to 90 and see if that looks better for whatever your aspect ratio or display is. Fallout New Vegas, I believe, is Epic, where I have mine installed. Like, it was Game of the Year, I think I got it free. You do this long enough, you can end up getting some really, really nice surprise games for free. I had already purchased New Vegas, but it was the Game of the Year and it was free, and I don't think I had Game of the Year on Steam. So I downloaded it here, and here's Fallout New Vegas. Just launch it. After you run the Bethany Standalone and you make your changes here, once you see this, go into your options. You're going to get black border on top and black border on the bottom. You can get rid of that. Again, here's your advanced. Leave this alone. Close this. And just get your widescreen and your resolution and change these settings. Change default here first, and then make sure this is what you want. Make sure you're on vertical sync. But even if you change them in the Bethany Standalone, you have to make sure they're changed here. You have to make sure this looks right. Hit OK. And then when you play the game, you should not see borders. Again, you have to, if you just use Bethany Standalone, you have to start a new game. You can't continue. But because I already did it, I can continue. I think I was playing with the mouse and keyboard. Yeah, but I have the controller set up right now, so I can't play with it. But I think this looks really good with the recommended tweaks. I mean, I really do. And it gets rid of the borders. A lot of people had issues with that. Looks great. Not going to get into playing stuff. With Skyrim, you can use Enderal. I can't remember what it was. I think it's either the Bethany Standalone. I think it's Bethany Standalone where you can do Enderal. Like, it doesn't say it. One of them, I think when you go to choose the game, let me see. Bethany Standalone. Game. Okay, yeah. So you'll see in Bethany Standalone, it doesn't mention it anywhere in the presets, but you'll see Enderal, Forgotten Stories. That's Skyrim. And that's here. And again, make your changes in Bethany Standalone to Enderal, and then start Enderal. Remember, start a new game for your Bethany configuration files to work. If you pick up where you left off, it's going to have the same configuration files. It's not going to work. You have to start a new game. And here's continue. Remember, you're going to start a new game, but I'm going to continue because I already changed I did everything already in the BethIni and Bethini Pie before I started this video. And then here's the changes that you've made. And it looks good. So that's Enderal. Oops. Main menu, desktop. Yeah, quit the desktop. And then the next one would be Oblivion, which is the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Again, play it. And again, here, you could go into options if you want. Not a problem at all. But if you do play the game and you just ran the Bethany Standalone, start a new game. Don't load your old saves. Erase them all. Delete them all. Start a new game. Me, I've already made the changes. And again, am I using mouse and keyboard? Yeah. And I think because I have my controller plugged in, or I don't know if it's, yeah. But I mean, it looks really good. Graphics look great. And all the tweaks. I don't know what I'm using. I don't know if I'm using the mouse and when I start playing the games again, this is why I wanted to make the changes, so I can go through these games again in my free time. But that's it for the Standalone. The Bethini Pie, again, it's Fallout 4 and Skyrim. Since we're over here already, we'll run Skyrim first, Special Edition, which is what I altered in Bethini Pie. Again, if you want, go into options. Make sure this is right. I use FXAA. You can use whatever you want. Anti-aliasing, believe it or not, when you play a game and it's a newer game, and if you have an older system, I don't have an older system, but if you have an older system, there are certain changes that you can make. Like when you're looking around and it seems to slow down and you start to drop frames, there are like 2 or 3 different settings that you can look at. Shadows is one. Shadow distance is huge impact. Usually shadows I'll keep them at medium. If you want and you have an older system, you can make your shadows low. You won't really notice it for most games. If you do notice it, bring it up to medium, whatever. Another one is anti-aliasing. If you have an NVIDIA card and you use FXAA, that's NVIDIA's proprietary anti-aliasing. Like, that will definitely make your game run much better if it's too resource intensive for your PC. Again, here, you don't need the advanced. It's going to show you that same window. You'll see it here. See, like here's your shadow distance. Mine's at medium. My quality's high. Shadow distance, this is big impact on your resources. God Rays, believe it or not, a lot of people say that it's huge impact. I don't really see a huge impact with it. But I get rid of lens flares. I don't like lens flares. I don't like ambient occlusion. I don't like motion blur. It drives me bananas. But once you have this set up to where you want it, hit OK, hit play. Skyrim anniversary upgrade. What? Oh, yeah, they're going to make me pay for it probably. Get back to the game. Get out of here, you overlay. So again, you're going to want to start a new game if you've altered it in the Bethini Pie. Me, I've already done that. And again, survival, you have to eat, sleep, and stay warm. No, not for right now. Again, it looks great. The way that I have it set up, and you'll see, like, it's just, there's no lag. There's no, like, stutter. It's mad playable. Looks great. And there's your Skyrim. System. You know, whoever makes Bethini Standalone and Bethini Pie knows what they're doing, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, Fallout 4, I got that from Microsoft, and this is the game that I started playing first. Out of all the games that I've altered with Bethini and Bethini Pie, if you go to options here, this is after the update. View distance, I left alone. I left these alone. Detail, the textures is high. Shadow quality medium. Shadow distance medium, like I told you. Everything is high. God rays, I put it ultra or else it gives some weird effect. Stop. Not right now. I left bokeh, and then I left this high. The ambient occlusion I left high. Weapon debris, leave off. It gives people some issues. This was before the update. They probably fixed it, but I left it off. These three I leave on. Motion blur and lens flare I turn off on every game. And again, here, if you want, to mass produce your settings. But here, I had a little bit of like where it was dropping frames, but as soon as I turned the anti-aliasing to FXAA and I brought the anisotropic samples to 8, it ran beautiful. Now again, if you have a mad wicked system, even better than mine, which there are people that do, ultra everything. I mean, hey, have at it. But there are just certain things that my mind can't get wrapped around, like motion blur. I can't play a game with motion blur, dude. Again, start a new game. And because this is the game that I've been playing since the update, and you'll see it's good. I don't have an issue with shadows. Here's some shadows over here. They look a little wonky because they're on medium, but like when I'm playing the game, like that kind of stuff doesn't really. It doesn't affect my gameplay. Let's pull out a gun. Ten Pines Bluff is under attack. Here's my partner in crime. Do I have the shotgun? Yeah. Let's see if you look out. If you look far out, the level of LOD is really nice. You'll see stuff fade in and fade out. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I mean, let's see. Shadows don't look too bad. And you see, like, you know how sometimes it drops frames when you're looking around and stuff? I'm not getting that. I was getting that before I made the changes. But yeah. Game runs great. Also, by the way, I'll just add the fact that after the Fallout 4 update, a lot of the problems with the game, with the quests and stuff like that, those were fixed. And they also they did some. You can look it up and see all the things that they tweaked and fixed. And they took a great game and they just smoothed it out. Fallout 4. Every game so far that I've talked about is awesome, but Fallout 4, yeah, man. If you haven't gotten the update yet, get the update. Run your Bethini Pie. Change your settings. Make sure you save the file. Update Fallout 4 then, if you want. Start the game. Go back into the game options from the game. Make your changes. Run the game. Start a new game, which pretty much applies for every one of these games. And have fun with it, man. It's a great game. That's pretty much all there is. Again, I'm not here to teach you how to do shit. I'm just here to show you how I'm having the best experience playing these games, altering the configs, and this is what PC gaming's all about. It's not for all people, but if you're a PC gamer and you want to tweak around and play around, and Bethini Standalone and Bethini Pie, you can't go wrong. It's entertaining, it's fun, and it'll teach you a lot of things about gaming if you're not already savvy. Anyway, I'm out. Y'all have a good evening. Love, peace, and hair grease.